This is the story of an emotional season for West Ham United. Packed with goals and full of drama, the race to join the Premier League was destined to prove a real cliffhanger. It ended in glory as the Hammers bounced back to the top flight at the first attempt, thanks to a decisive triumph on the final Saturday of the season.
Martin Allen, forward goes Dix. Dix has still got it, there's a chance here, and it's 2-0. Clive Allen, and they are definitely in the Premier League now.
For Billy Bonds and his new right-hand man Harry Redknapp, promotion at the first attempt was a perfect start to their managerial partnership. The Hammers were Premier bound. Bouncing back to the top flight at the first attempt was a real achievement for a club with limited resources. But the sweet taste of success had followed a feeling of the greatest loss. Sadly, along the way, Upton Park had said farewell to Bobby Moore. The greatest Hammer of all time had lost his 2-year fight against cancer, and the world of soccer was left to mourn a true legend. This exclusive programme includes a special tribute to Bobby, but we concentrate on the magic moments from a memorable season that Upton Park's favourite son would have been proud of. A season packed with star performances. 3 months after relegation, the Hammers have been installed as one of the pre-season favourites for promotion. Despite the sale of Stuart Slater to Celtic for £1.5 million, there were no big sums to spend on the transfer market. Nonetheless, there was a feeling of optimism at the club, a positive mood that was reinforced when the Hammers kicked off the season at Barnsley.
Here's Keane. Oh, nicely done. That's lovely football, and Keane has threaded it through for Clive Allen, and Allen stops, checks, scores. Typical Clive Allen goal, laid on by Kevin Keane, and it's a 1-2-3 touch from Clive Allen, and it's goal number 1 of the season for him. Lovely striker's goal. I thought he'd taken too long, but he hadn't.
Yes, Kevin Keane did well, came inside, spotted Clive Allen. I thought he'd lost his chance there, but obviously he knew exactly what he was doing. That's a great finish.
Nobody does it better, as they say. And Clive Allen, that's a great shot of a great goal scorer.
Yes, he was aware of Archdeacon coming in the side of him, waited for him to put the challenge in, just pulled the ball back onto his favourite right foot, and in the back of the net it goes.
Clive Allen's winner had launched the Hammers season in spectacular style, but thoughts of setting the early pace at the top of the table were quickly cut short by two sides destined for the role of front runners in the opening weeks. In the season's first outing at Upton Park, Tennant's Charlton Athletic maintained their winning start when Alan Pardew grabbed the only goal.
Alan Pardew puts Charlton ahead, right on the stroke of the half hour.
In the second half, the Hammers battled to get back on level terms, and Alvin Martin underlined his determination to extend his long career, but there was no avoiding defeat.
Potts has found Robson, whose cross might find Alvin Martin, and Bob Boulder went down on his knees. A great save from the veteran keeper.
The Hammers had suffered their first defeat of the season, and worse was to come at St James's Park, where Kevin Keegan's Newcastle were emerging as a real force in the First Division. 2 goals in the final minutes of the first half did the trick for the Geordies. Gavin Peacock broke the deadlock.
And Peacock, and it's in there, and Newcastle have got the lead. Gavin Peacock, the new skipper, got the important touch. 1-0 to Newcastle.
Then former Hammer David Kelly put Newcastle well and truly in command, and the foundations have been laid for a record start to the season for a Newcastle side destined to win their opening 10 matches.
Does it? No. And Kelly, and 2-0. David Kelly gets the goal he was praying for against his old club, and it's all going right for Newcastle at the end of this first half. Stoppage time, Kelly makes it 2-0. Venison.
West Ham's misery was complete when Julian Dix committed his second bookable offence and landed his first red card of the season.
Doing well. Dix still got to get out of trouble down there. And Julian Dix putting Frank's car on the deck. The referee's reached for his book, and that could spell trouble for Dix. coming next. Here's the offence. There was the elbow on Fran's car. It was quite clear. And while we were watching that replay, the red card was out. And Julian Dix is off. He was already booked for a foul on Kevin Scott. And that elbow went in. And Dix is out of this game. And the troubles mount up for the Hammers.
The month of September kicked off with the opening qualifying match in the Anglo-Italian Cup. A crowd of less than 5,000 turned up for the match against Bristol Rovers, but there was no shortage of excitement from the moment Julian Dix gave the Hammers a second-minute lead.
Robson tries a cross, comes in right-footed, punched up by the keeper, back to Dix. The West Ham captain puts West Ham ahead on 2 minutes. Long clearance from Parkin, which Gale unfortunately doesn't get to. And it's in there. Julian Dix puts the ball in the back of the net for the second time tonight. Mark went up. Well, the West Ham keeper's dropped it, and it must be a goal. It's Stewart's second.
Are you optimistic that West Ham will bounce straight back?
I'm not optimistic. I hope we can, but it'll be difficult. You know, I'm under no illusions that it's going to be a difficult. It'll be hard to get out of this league this year. But you know, we must have a chance, I would have thought.
The home game against Watford began with West Ham lying in 19th place in the First Division. There was only one way forward.
Good skills from Dix. He was under enormous pressure, and even then when he stood on the ball he found his feet again. What a player. And a lot of West Ham players and fans will be praying he doesn't go to Chelsea. Here's Martin Allen, tries a shot, it's there! Fully 35 yards, and Martin Allen goes to salute nobody in particular in the South Bank, but he's embraced by cousin Clive, number 7, Mark Robson, and someone who never misses out on a celebration, Tim Breaker. And the West Ham North Bank celebrate West Ham's first league goal at Upton Park this season. The Mad Dog is back and he's in form. Oh, and Alvin Martin has lost out to Furlong. Paul Furlong has scored for Watford, and it's a mistake from Alvin Martin. King's corner. Breaker heads goalwards. It could be there, it is! It is! It's Clive Allen! His first goal for West Ham at Upton Park. And although the ball was helped into the net by a Watford defender, no one will begrudge him his first Upton Park goal. West Ham 2, Watford 1. A brilliant corner kick, put enormous pressure on the Watford defence, and as it was headed down goalwards, Clive Allen stuck a boot out and put it in. It's West Ham 2, Watford 1.
What would you have to say about the West Ham performance generally today?
I think we've been getting better. Obviously, we got a good result the first game, but we was disappointed in the last two. But this was a much better performance, and I thought we thoroughly deserved our victory.
What were your first thoughts when you knew you'd be joining your cousin at West Ham?
Well, he was maybe he had something to do with it. I think he had a word with Billy about it and the possibility, and then within a few days everything happened very quickly, and I was a West Ham player. So it's like coming home for me. I'm delighted to be here, and obviously with my cousin as well.
And here he is, Martin. That was some goal you scored today. Can you take us through what was going through your mind when you first took possession of the ball?
All I can remember is playing a 1-2 with Kevin on the halfway line. I think there was another 1-2 with Dixie a bit behind on the edge of our box. I can't really remember that. But anyway, I got 3 on the halfway line. I was going through and I could see their 2 centre halves in front of me, with Clive about 15 yards to the right, sort of screaming for the ball. And it's funny, their centre half was egging me on to shoot. He was going, go on, try it. And I kept backing off, and I did, and there it was in the net, so I was well pleased.
Clive, have you ever referred to Martin as the Mad Dog, or is it a nickname that only the fans use?
No, only my son Oliver calls him that. We was in training yesterday, and as he left, he said he waited till Martin got round the corner, mind you, and said, "He's mad, that Martin, isn't he?" So I said, "Yeah, that's right." No, I've not actually called him Mad Dog, but everybody knows that's his nickname, and I think he plays on that a bit. But good luck to him, and I think the crowd enjoy the banter, and that's something that everybody enjoys at a football club. I think they like to have a few people that they can relate to, Martin being one of them, and it's good for everybody.
Next stop was London Road, where newly promoted Peterborough drew first blood after 18 minutes. A free kick resulting in a simple tap-in for number 9 Adcock. But this was a day when the Hammers displayed their determined powers of recovery, and the match would turn full circle by half-time. Trevor Morley's equaliser was followed 3 minutes later by goal number 2 from Mad Dog Martin Allen. The fight back had been assisted by Peterborough's nightmare defending, and the home side's misery was completed when Kevin Keane made it 3-1 with the help of another deflection. Two straight wins have sent the Hammers soaring 12 places into the top 7. Billy Bond's boys had started to fulfil their pre-season optimism. The momentum continued at Ashton Gate.
There really is a fluency about West Ham, buoyant at the moment, and here comes Kevin Keane cutting the ball back. Robson inside the area, and it's gone in. The goalkeeper disappointed, but Mark Robson has his first goal in a West Ham shirt. Keane with this corner kick. West Ham still leading by a goal to 0, and the keeper's missed it, and that's 2. And an easy one for Trevor Morley, his second of the season. Morley looking for movement ahead of him, and Keane has made an intelligent run here, and on goes Kevin Keane, pulls the ball back, and this might be 3. Lovely strike indeed from Clive Allen. Allen's third of the season, West Ham's third of the day, and it was a lovely build-up, and Keane is so aware. He glided past the first defender, just tucked it back there, and Allen slammed it home. And Bristol City have been struggling throughout the game, but they try to get something out of it now. They've plenty of pace up front, and there's a trip on the edge of the area. Alvin Martin had gone across, and the referee, no doubt at all, gives the free kick. And here is Martin Scott, who slips it into the West Ham net, easy as you like. No back for the keeper. No problems with the back pass that time. Martin just lunging in, getting the boot to it, and then Butler allowing Tim Breaker to take over. Oh, and Clive Allen dispossesses his man. He's got Small alongside him, and here's the substitute rifling in the shot, which goes under the keeper, who's had a disastrous day, and Clive Allen gets number 4 for West Ham. But Welsh has had a terrible day in goal for Bristol City. Keane again, and Bristol City torn to shreds once more. He may lay on a 5th one. Here comes Trevor Morley. It's his second. West Ham have got 5 here at Ashton Gate.
That made it 3 wins in a row, and the Hammers had climbed into 5th place.
Henry just come up quickly. All to no avail, because some good defending there by Mitchell Thomas. Clive Allen. Butler battling. Kitson, Simpson, danger here for West Ham. Has it gone in? It has! Well, Mitchell Thomas tried to hook it away. It's Robson with the corner for West Ham. Mitchell Thomas towards the near post. Kevin Keane going out there to give the option of a shorter corner. Now he's flicked it over towards Mitchell Thomas. Martin. And Morley! And West Ham are level.
great immense. Mitchell Thomas does well with a little touch on here at the corner, and Alvin Martin does very well. He shows good awareness, and although it's a quick header back in, Derby are a bit slow out. Tommy Johnston, they're able to put the ball in the net.
In the newly named Coca-Cola Cup, the Hammers' goal-scoring dried up altogether. A super display by visiting goalkeeper Dean Greygoose provided the stumbling block. The goalless draw meant third division Crewe had set themselves up nicely for the second leg at Gresty Road. 4 days later it was back to league duty, and the Hammers welcomed Julian Dix back for the showdown with Portsmouth at Fratton Park.
Could be troubles here. Can Clive Allen turn it into the goal? West Ham go ahead in the last seconds of the first half.
Still Peter Butler, there's the long cross coming in.
Robson's on the end of it! Well, the keeper made a save, but in fact Robson's header hit him on the chest.
And still very, very delicately balanced this game, with West Ham leading by 1-0. Here's Morley again. The flag has stayed down. Trevor Morley with a chance. And beautifully saved again by Knight. Allen just clipping it now for Morley! Oh, it came back off the post. Now for Allen. Long range shot from Martin Allen! Terrific save by Knight.
Victory over Portsmouth meant the Hammers had rattled off no less than 4 wins in 5 away matches. An impressive sequence that augured well in the battle for promotion. It meant the Hammers had ended the month of September by climbing into the top 4 for the first time. In the Anglo-Italian Cup, the Hammers needed to win by 3 clear goals at Southend to join Bristol Rovers at the top of their qualifying group. And that was always on the cards once Trevor Morley opened the scoring early on at Roots Hall. Julian Dix made it 2-0 when he drove home from the penalty spot just before the interval. But the Hammers left it late to score the all-important third. Matt Holmes finally added to the score sheet 5 minutes from time. That goal meant the team to qualify for the group matches against the Italians would be settled by the toss of a coin. West Ham called right, and the Hammers were back in Europe.
Robson, back to Martin Allen. Good football again from West Ham. This is Dix. Wasn't a bad effort that, and pushed out, and Edwards to the rescue. Martin Allen furious that he couldn't quite get to that loose ball, pushed out by McStowell. And mistakes being made by both sides now as Julian Dix brings down Steve Bull. The crowd baying for blood here. I felt, in all honesty, Bull made a little bit more of that than it really was. He certainly brought him down though, and it's the red card. It's the red card for the West Ham captain, Julian Dix. And I'm afraid there have been an awful lot of sending offs in his career, and here's another one now.
In fact, that was Dix's second red card of the season. The only consolation was that the Hammers had extended their own unbeaten run to 9 matches. But that sequence came to a disappointing end in the Coca-Cola Cup at Crewe. All square after a goalless first leg, the third division side served up a stunning KO when Tony Naylor finally broke the deadlock 18 minutes from time. Moments later, his striking partner Craig Hidnett added a second when the Hammers had failed to pass first base in the League Cup. 4 days later, feelings of humiliation were taken out on Sunderland in a dazzling return to form in front of a live TV audience at Upton Park.
Coming up to the 25th minute of the game. West Ham against Sunderland. Keane's shot! Keane's goal! 1-0 West Ham. Dix. Oh, it might come through to Keane. Played in again. Clive Allen's trying to get in there. Morley's in there. It's 2. Goes Martin Allen. Cheers of the crowd. The crowd are really enjoying this now. They appreciate the West Ham style of play and have done for years here, and they're seeing it reborn again here now as Martin Allen goes through. The flag stays down. It's 3-0. looking for goal number 4. Floated in there towards Dix. And nodded in by Martin. And goal number 4 duly arrives. His first of the season. Hawley. Keane. In again. Could be another one. Robson. Here's Rush. That's a good break by Gary Hours. He's given a penalty. I think it was Potts who brought Gary Hours down. And Sunderland, to the delight of their fans behind McCloskey's goal, Don Goodman, for his pluck, as much as his running and his dangerous play. If any man needs to or deserves to get something from this game, it's Don Goodman. 8 stitches in a wound in his head. And the goal is saved. Great work by McCloskey, and it certainly isn't Sunderland's afternoon. Butler. Popped in again towards Kevin Keane. Are they going to finish with a flourish? They might. They have! Robson again!
The 6-goal thrashing of Sunderland was followed by another ruthless display, this time against Bristol Rovers. A month earlier, the Hammers had demolished Bristol City 5-1.
The Hammers really do look brimful of confidence here. Of course, they scored 6 in their last game, and here's Trevor Morley trying to get the first in this one, which he does. Allen's ball forward, it's a good ball as well. And then it's chipped up towards the keeper. Now, was there a push there? Yes, there was a push on Morley. It's a penalty. And Julian Dix steps forward and smashes it in. 2-0. Forward Hammers go again, and inside that area, Kevin Keane, who's rolled in number 3. Peter Butler goes forward now and might get his first goal for the club. He doesn't, but Clive Allen scores.
That made it 5 wins out of 7 away from home. The Hammers were in the top 2 for the first time.
I think there's a lot better spirit in the club the last few weeks. I think the players are beginning to believe in themselves, and we've played the same way. We've played with 2 wingers home and away all season. We've been nice and positive. We've tried to play as much football as we can. But I think it's that little bit of belief in themselves now. You know, we worked hard on getting the wingers into goal scoring positions in training, and that's worked as well. Mark Robson's got a couple of goals, Kevin Keane scored. So, but I think overall it's just that little bit of confidence. I think that last year, obviously being relegated, they started the season on a very much a low, and 1 or 2 little good decent results has picked us up, and from now the lads are really flying. So I think that's what it's down to.
The goals dried up against Glenn Hoddle's high-flying Swindon Town. Nicky Hammond kept the Hammers at bay with a stubborn display in the Town goal. Eight minutes from time came a moment that turned the contest. George Parris halted Martin Ling with a desperate challenge just outside the penalty area. The Hammers weren't impressed by the referee's decision, but the replay suggested that Parris had made contact. Nonetheless, the resultant red card did seem like rough justice. From the free kick that followed, Craig Maskell claimed the decisive breakthrough with the help of a wicked deflection. Fortunes didn't improve against Cambridge United at the Abbey Stadium. A glorious drive by Mike Norbury flew past Ludek McCloskey to give the home side the half-time lead. Trevor Morley replied with his 8th goal of the season shortly after the break. A neat finish by the Hammers' number 9 after Kevin Keane had found the gap. But Cambridge made West Ham pay for a series of missed opportunities 18 minutes from time. A failed clearance proved fatal, and Devon White added the knockout winner. Three days later, the frustration continued at Grimsby Town, where a scorching second-half strike by Clive Mendonca gave the Hammers another jolt. This time Trevor Morley's equaliser earned a point, a determined solo effort in the 75th minute. Nonetheless, the Hammers had lost valuable ground on pacesetters Newcastle, who are now 12 points clear of 4th placed West Ham. After 3 matches without a win, the chance to put things right came at home to Notts County. At Upton Park, adding his moral support, was East End's world champion-to-be, Lennox Lewis. The Hammers broke the deadlock 3 minutes before half-time, Clive Allen providing the touch of class to land his 7th goal of the season.
Steve Potts. Keane. Neat looking ball for Potts, and Potts is through! Oh, it's there! It's there from Morley! Steve Potts almost scored for West Ham, but Trevor Morley didn't disappoint. Goal number 10!
After 3 matches without success, the much-needed victory over Notts County had consolidated the Hammers' position in the top 4. Leaders Newcastle were setting the pace, but West Ham were optimistic about going the full distance.
Apart from your own form, what has particularly pleased you about West Ham this year?
I think it's the commitment and the spirit that we've got on the side at the moment. We've got a lot of people who are playing for each other, and I think that's vital in any team that's going to win consistently over a season. That's been the main thing. I think the morale of the players has been very good, and obviously the results helps that. Once you've got results going for you, that gives players confidence, and then that confidence builds and tends to snowball, and I think that's what's happened up to now.
So confidence was on the way up. A good time on the face of it for the Hammers to set off on their Italian job against Cremonese. When the match finally arrived, the result proved a big disappointment. 2 goals in a 12-minute spell early in the second half gave the Italian Serie B team the points. Years after their last European adventure, the Hammers hadn't made the impact they'd hoped for, but there were still 3 games to follow against Italian opposition. Meanwhile, it was back home and into the Lions' Den for a showdown with promotion rivals Millwall. When Mark Robson conceded a 40th minute penalty, the Hammers were heading for another uphill struggle. Malcolm Allen converted the spot kick in style. Then, early in the second half, Millwall's lead increased, and Ludek Miklosko was finally beaten by Phil Barber. The Hammers were heading for their 4th defeat in 6 matches. Nonetheless, they did sign off with a quality strike when Mark Robson finally gave West Ham something to cheer with a fine individual effort.
Lovely ball out there for him, well judged. Morley surrounded by blue shirts. Millwall back in strength, determined to preserve what they fought for and gain this 2-goal lead. Robson on the turn now, gets past one, gets past another. A great chance and a wonderful goal.
Ice cool finishing by Robson, but it was too little, too late. In the absence of Julian Dix, the Hammers had won only once in 5 league outings. Dix would make a triumphant return at home to Oxford.
Goals. Oxford involved in an amazing 5-all draw with Portsmouth recently. 1-2, Ford tried to go in, and Allen gets it in, and he sent it in straight away in the first minute from John Durnin. Oxford ahead after just 90 seconds. That'll look for Dix. He's not able to get up there. Paris might. Keener tees Amazing cross in there. Alvin Martin went to get it down. Here's Robson turning neatly, and that's a beautiful flick. A brilliant goal by Clive Allen. What a classic goal. And West Ham are back in it. A real striker's goal, that, by Clive Allen. Harrison Robson. Look at this from Breaker. Neat play for the West Ham number 2. It's a brilliant goal. Tim Breaker. What a run and what a shot from Breaker. Could be Allen, but half-hearted effort really. That was blocked. Keane won that back supremely. Great play from the West Ham number 11. Dix, what a goal! What a goal! Julian Dix! One of the best strikes you will ever see. Pick that one out. Robson. He nearly crept through, but that was definitely a foul from Ford. The referee did not miss it. I'll tell you incidentally that Durnin, the goal scorer, has been taken off. West Ham's free kick. Dix again. He's done it again! He has done it again! Julian Dix with another amazing strike. The ball laid across to him and he hit it so cleanly. Well, he defies the ordinary rules that tend to preclude defenders from scoring plenty of goals. And that's a good shot at the other end. What a goal at the other end from Joe Mangleton. Well, who says they don't see goals at Upton Park? That was an absolute peach of a strike. Mangleton, the goal scorer, standing with Beauchamp over the ball. Beauchamp will attempt to turn it in for Oxford. Goalwards, and it could be in. It's out. It's another goal. And Oxford have come back in true style, and the goal scorer is the number 6, Andrew Melville. It's a beaut, Beauchamp. Great shot, brilliant save. This game is certainly not over yet. Joey Beauchamp hit an absolute stormer. Or do I mean stormer? I think I mean It's a good one, and Morley goes in. It's there. And he does get on the score sheet. A fabulous free kick from Julian Dix. And it looks like West Ham have made it safe.
It's hard man image. I just go out and give 110%. That's the way I am, that's where I'll always be. I got a few decisions against referees, like sending off at Wolves, which shouldn't have been. A few bookings which shouldn't have been, but that's what it is. I've got to accept that.
So we've got as good a squad as any in the league, really. You know, we just got to keep plugging away. It's at times like just lately when you've got suspensions and injuries. We've had good players come in, so we've got a good strong side like that. You know, just got to hope that we don't get too many injuries and things like that, and we'll be all right. Other teams haven't got that squad, and if they get them, I think they might struggle.
The second of 3 home matches in the space of 8 days came in the Anglo-Italian Cup against Reggiana. This time the Hammers had to wait until midway into the second half before they finally got on the score sheet, Clive Allen securing West Ham's first goal in the international stage of the competition. 10 minutes from time, Allen was on the score sheet again, wrapping up the points with his third goal in 2 matches. A 2-0 win had kept alive the Hammers' hopes of reaching the semi-finals.
What is the difference actually playing in the side when Julian Dix is there? Do you feel a difference in the West Ham side generally?
Yeah, I think he's an inspiration. He leads by example. He never misses a tackle, and he's so keen. He wants to do so well. Sometimes I think he's unfortunate that he has a reputation that precedes him, and he gets involved in incidents which other players could never possibly get involved in just because of his enthusiasm. But he certainly has got one of the best left foots I've seen, and we saw that at the weekend with the goals he scored. And he's showing. I think in a couple of years he will possibly, if we can get ourselves in the Premier League along with Julian, I think he can possibly push for an England place.
It was back to league duty against Birmingham City.
Watched it well.
And a perfect week for Clive Allen continued, despite an early strike by the men from the Midlands.
It's Rogerson. This is Gale. Rogerson in again. Gets the return. It's in. Ian Rogerson has scored for Birmingham on 15 minutes. Foster, back flicks to Morley. Morley turned well again there. And he's looking for Keane. Good cross from Keane. Allen, it's out. Beautiful cross from Kevin Keane, and Clive Allen does it again. It was Morley who got the ball through to Keane, and he turned it back, and didn't Allen head that in well. Nice goals from Potts, proving that not just a defender, he can actually dribble with the ball a bit. That's come through to Morley. Can he get round his man? He can. He's made space. It's a lovely, a brilliant goal by Trevor Morley. Didn't he keep his head? He had Darren Rogers snapping at his heels, but he cut inside him, made space for the shot, and cracked it in the top right-hand corner. Certainly Birmingham won't be pleased when they see the replay of that goal, because the ball ran through to Morley, and really there was no challenge from a Birmingham defender at all. And even when Rogers was round towards Morley, he didn't get the challenge any would have liked. And here's Allen, and it's another. West Ham have gone mad. And again, Birmingham's defence looked absolutely threadbare. It's 2 in a minute, and it's Morley and Allen again. Have you always had the confidence that you could play this well at this level?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if I didn't think that, then obviously I wouldn't be playing. It's just, I'm lucky that I've been given a chance here by Billy and Harry. They've believed in me, and touch wood, everything's going right at the moment. And I hope I can keep doing it, because I don't want to come out the side. I want to stay in the team, and I want us to get promoted. It'll be a great feat for me, getting a free transfer by Tottenham.
We've had a great week, 3 home wins. We wanted the 2 league games are very important to us, that we got 6 points from, and the Reggiana game we played very well, so we've had a great week this week.
I was looking at the goal scoring talents of Clive Allen and Trevor Morley. It's the first time 2 West Ham strikers have scored 25 goals between them since McAvenny and Cotty did in '85. What do you think about that?
Well, that's great. It's important they keep getting goals for us. Trevor's goals come at a great time for us. It looked like it was going to be a draw today. I was always a little bit concerned about this game after the 2 hard games we've had already this week. And Trevor's goal was an important goal for us. It literally won us the game.
Some of the press have been saying Mark Robson's the signing of the season. It must be quite gratifying to get someone on a free transfer.
The little fellow's been tremendous. He's been a real plus for us. Obviously we lost Stuart Slater, and little Robbo's come in and cost us nothing, and it just shows you, they are about, and the little fellow's done great. He's a lovely little kid to have in your dressing room. He's a West Ham boy, really. I think he was born at Beckton and ended up down at Exeter, and he's liked by the players, and he's a smashing kid to have around your club, and he's playing well. He's playing terrific for us.
The victory over Birmingham had returned West Ham to the top 3, albeit a massive 13 points behind runaway leaders Newcastle. Perhaps more importantly, the goals were beginning to flow for strike partners Trevor Morley and Clive Allen. The Hammers' hitmen had now scored 12 goals apiece.
Aldridge continues his run. McCloss goes off his line if Aldridge can get around him. Now can John Aldridge finish? He has 2 players with him, but he's not going to pass to anybody. The goals maestro puts Tranmere Rovers ahead. Ludek Miklosko kicks. Ball holds up in the wind, and that's to the advantage of the West Ham United player, and he's turned that advantage into an equaliser. But again, the flag stays down. Irons has a very good chance and finishes it off beautifully. Tranmere Rovers back in the lead, but just 3.5 minutes gone in the second half. Irons, Tranmere Rovers just sitting back at the moment. This man won't sit back at all though. Aldridge, he can seal it for Tranmere Rovers, and he does! And that caps what is probably one of the classiest nights of league football at Prenton Park. Martindale loses it, and another chance for Allen, and this time Clive Allen has scored. John Aldridge 2, Clive Allen 1, but still 3-2 to Tranmere Rovers. Alvin Martin to Miklosko. The referee looking at his watch, and Miklosko not looking at the ball, and the mistake could prove costly, and that is sheer class. John Aldridge's hat-trick, and that finishes off an absolutely exquisite evening for the Irish international striker. The rain pouring down, but Morrissey won't mind that. Around the defender again, a chip to the far post, and Malkin with 5!
Tranmere's stunning demolition job had brought a dramatic end to West Ham's winning run of 3 matches. 4 days later, the Hammers were back on their travels in the Anglo-Italian Cup. This time the destination was Cosenza, and there was no room for error. It would need a win to keep West Ham's interest in the competition alive. Young Steve Jones was destined to make his Hammers debut in front of a measly crowd of just 800 Italians. They certainly didn't have anything to celebrate. West Ham scored the only goal of the game, and it came from in-form Clive Allen, his 7th strike in 5 matches. The run into Christmas began with the 3rd-placed Hammers, a massive 16 points behind leaders Newcastle.
Robson's corner, up goes Dix. It's in there from Morley. You have to say it was probably going to go in anyway, but Trevor Morley put it in. Good corner from Robson. It swung over dangerously. Dix got his head brilliantly to it. And there was Trevor Morley with goal number 14. Bishop McKean gets it back. Keane's onside. Good cross, a brilliant goal! Brilliant goal by Clive Allen. You will not see a better headed goal than that. Just as Southend were waving their hands for offside as Keane collected the ball, he whipped in across, and Clive Allen bullet-headed it into the back of the net. West Ham 2, Southend 0, and number 15 for Clive Allen.
With the season 27 matches old, Trevor Morley and Clive Allen had established a lethal combination, sharing 29 goals between them. Allen began the deciding Anglo-Italian Cup match with Pisa, having scored 8 times on his previous 6 outings. But Morley was missing from a match the Hammers had to win, and frustratingly, a goalless draw ended all hopes of reaching the semi-finals. The blank against Pisa was followed in identical fashion against Brentford. It may have been only 5 days before Christmas, but there was no way either side was going to give anything away in the first Griffin Park meeting between the two sides for 39 years. For the Bees, it was the end of a 6-match winning run. The Hammers finally nailed their goal drought against Charlton at the Valley, when Julian Dix celebrated Boxing Day with a Christmas cracker, assisted by a late deflection. It was Dick's 8th goal of the season. The West Ham's hopes of rounding off the festive week with a win were thwarted by a late Charlton equaliser. John Bumstead making it 1-1 at the second attempt. The final game of 1992 came against struggling Luton Town. A crowd of nearly 19,000 making it the Hammers' highest gate of the season so far.
To Robson, looked like he got pushed. Here comes Clive Allen. It is a penalty. Mark Robson unquestionably pushed there as he went for the ball. It really was a straightforward header. We hold our breath. But he must say you have confidence this man's as prolific as Ray Stewart. It's there! Whoa. Julian Dix. Didn't he give it some stick? Now 5 minutes into the second half and Julian Dix puts West Ham ahead, 1-0. Good ball from Allen to Keane. Allen breaks with Morley and Robson and Martin Allen, who might get this one. Dix is after it. Gets it. Crosses. Morley. Breaker. What a goal! Tim Breaker. Woo! Did he hit that or what? Morley's quick thinking actually pulled the ball back. And while other people were dithering around, Tim Breaker came in and he was saying, well, I've had a bit of a disappointing match so far, so I'm going to change things a little bit. And there it went beautifully. Tim Breaker. It's West Ham 2, Luton 0. And it's there. And Luton have answered in style. Luton have both their substitutes used now. Certainly the second one coming on after their pulling a goal back. Oh, it's a dangerous one, and it could be in there. Has it gone? It's in. And the referee, I think, has given the goal. It's crept in. Both Ludek McCloskey and looked like Potts went up on the line, but the back flick from the corner meant that Luton Town have equalised.
Despite rounding off 1992 with 3 successive draws, the Hammers had held on to 3rd place. The gap behind Kevin Keegan's Newcastle was still a massive 14 points, but Billy Bond's promotion hopefuls had arrived at the halfway mark in a strong position in the race to join the Premier League. The new year would begin with an FA Cup 3rd round tie at the Hawthorns against Aussie Ardelia's West Bromwich Albion. The home side began with high hopes, unbeaten in their previous 9 matches. But the Hammers took control when Clive Allen made the breakthrough on the half hour. The Hammers were never in danger of becoming giant-killing victims, and they ended all hope for Aussie's men before half-time, when Mark Robson squeezed home this effort, assisted by a dummy from Julian Dix. A crowd of close on 26,000 had seen the Hammers kill off their second division hosts in ruthless fashion, and the Hammers' confident start to 1993 was destined to continue at the baseball ground.
Knocking it down for Robson, touched on again, good play there as Allen plays it on again for Robson, and Keane is in a lot of space down the left hand side. A lovely ball by Robson now for Kevin Keane, cutting back, looking to see who's there. Robson's there, can he finish it off? He can, and West Ham are ahead. A super goal, beautifully worked by West Ham, and 10 minutes of the game gone. Pitch perfect to Dix, hit long by Dix for Keane, who's gone off on a chase again. Morley's waiting in the middle for him. Robson's coming up fast. Forsyth could get into trouble here. Allen with a shot, and it's not over yet because Butler might take it wide. Crosses it in again, and it's another one. This time it's Morley. 2-0 for West Ham. A terrific start for the Hammers. A well-taken goal by Trevor Morley. His 15th of of the season.
Victory at the baseball ground to put the Hammers in second place in the First Division for the first time in nearly 3 months, albeit by virtue of having scored 1 goal more than Tranmere Rovers. The Hammers' winning run was destined for a tough test against promotion rivals Portsmouth, another team on the crest of a wave, thanks to the goal-scoring exploits of Guy Whittingham. But Pompey's prize Guy failed to make an impact against the Hammers.
This year. This is Keane, right-footed. Up go Dixon Foster. It's hit the post from Morley. Morley's header, intelligent. Looked like he'd beaten the Knight, but it came back off the post. This one comes out to Keane. Holds the ball back, right-footed, crosses in, goes Morley again. 2 in a minute from Trevor Morley, and that was better. The lovely header from him came back off the post, and not a bad second one either. Both from Kevin Keane's crosses. Goes Butler and Morley again. I should say it was, now this is Morley. And it's a great save from Knight. It was a really brilliant save. In fact, the through ball was from Holmes, but Morley couldn't beat Knight. He kept the ball low, but Knight spread himself well. Trevor Morley could have had 4 really in the last 6 minutes. Breaker finds Robson, who tries a first-timer. Left-footed, it's not his natural foot. It's a lovely shot, and Knight was scrambling backwards. Only just over. Mark Robson. West Ham are alive now. Lovely one-touch play from West Ham. Robson on to Breaker, who lets this one come on to him. Robson plays a beautiful return to Breaker. It's a first-time cross. It goes Morley. What a goal! What a goal! Brilliantly made by Robson and Breaker. And Morley's been hurt, but what a goal! That was vintage West Ham. Robson and Breaker linking absolutely superbly, and Breaker's first time cross caught Portsmouth completely flat-footed, and what a header from Morley, and there's the blood. Looks like he should be in Bram Stoker's Dracula. And that's coming round the cinemas soon. He looks opportunity for the part. That was a brave diving header. What a goal, Trevor Morley, he made it. Good looking corner, up goes Foster. It's out. Colin Foster puts West Ham 2 up. From the corner by Mark Robson. Just what West Ham needed. 55 minutes gone. And Colin Foster, who's only in, remember, because of the torn calf muscle of Alvin Martin, puts West Ham 2 goals up. What about your personal ambitions for the season and perhaps for the next 2 or 3 seasons? What would you like to see West Ham do?
Personally, I'd like to win something with the club. I've got a combination medal for winning the league in about 1986, and the year before that we won the Youth League. That's all I've won with West Ham. It was very disappointing 2 years ago when we had the last game here to win the league, the second division. Notts County beat us. That was very disappointing. And personally for myself, I'd like to win something with West Ham because, you know, we play good football, we've got great crowds, you know. I think not just more for myself, I'd like to win something, but also for the crowd and then the lads in the dressing room. We need to win something. I want something in my medals cupboard.
3 identical 2-0 wins have given the Hammers a perfect start to 1993, but it all went wrong in the FA Cup 4th round at Barnsley. Andrew Rummel had put the home side in the commanding 2-0 lead with a double strike before half-time. The Hammers were given the chance to make a fight back early in the second half when the home side conceded a penalty. Trevor Morley, the man fouled, and he stepped up to claim his third goal in 3 games to take his tally to 17. But 2 further Barnsley goals put the issue beyond the Hammers' reach. First came this strike from number 10 Redfern. Then 5 minutes later, Rammell rounded off a resounding home win by completing his hat-trick, his first ever in the professional game. All that remained now for the Hammers was the all-important battle for promotion. At least there would be no distractions in the race to join the Premier League.
Out of what was an unpromising situation, suddenly West Ham could push men forward, still looking for this opening goal. Corner played short. Keane again. Given. It's going to be there. Well, it was Keane's shot, which the keeper could only half save. Yes, they're hugging Kevin Keane because his part was considerable. And once Welch had only half stopped it, there's Keane's shot. There was Trevor Morley looking for goal number 18 and putting West Ham, after a lot of hard work, finally into the lead. It's Tony Gale. Holmes racing for this one. Gale has picked him out well. Holmes took it well also and finds Breaker. There's a good crossing again towards Robson. Number 2. Well, you felt they needed a second goal, and now they've got it. How appropriate that the cross should come from Breaker, who's made such good runs down that right flank all evening. A good header too. 2-0. Where do you see now the situation? How do you see the situation at the top of the First Division now?
Obviously Newcastle, they look long gone now. I mean, they've only got to win their home games really. They've had such a great run. But I think it's going to be very tight. I think it's going to go over the way, I really do. I think it could be an exciting finish really.
Because 2 go up automatically and then 4 play off for 1 playoff place.
That's right. I think Millwall are going very well. You know, I've been impressed with Millwall all season. They're playing very well. Leicester are coming with a run now. Swindon are starting to fall away a little bit. Tranmere have done well. They're up there, so it's going to be tight.
Do you feel comfortable about your position now?
We've got to be happy where we are. I mean, we're tucked in. I don't know whether we're second tonight. I think we stay second. So we're tucked in nicely there. And as I say, with all these home games to come, we've still got a good chance of getting that second spot.
That's a better one from Steve Thompson. Walsh, low with a shot. Oh, what a goal! What a superb strike from David Lowe. His 7th of the season. Kenny Brown stopping Joachim at any cost. Good run by Matt Holmes. Keane, nicely laid off. Chance for a shot from Robson. Blocked the first one. The second one's in. Oh, Russell Holt beaten by the deflection. And Mark Robson squares the game here in the 19th minute. Kevin Keane, number 11. Peter Butler, number 8. Butler over the ball. Keane to deliver the cross. Nicely struck. Oh, and it's there, Tony Gale. 53 minutes gone. And Gale steals the lead for West Ham United. Well, Kevin, a great way to celebrate your 200th league appearance with a victory here at Filbert Street.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, only a couple of lads knew it was my 200th, but it's quite a big thing for me. To appear for West Ham 200 times is, speaks for itself, and to come here and win 2-1, I mean, it's quite a lucky ground for us. I think I've been here a couple of times now and won. You come back from 1-0 down and win 2-1. The spirit we showed, I think, epitomised the supporters really.
Victory over Leicester had made it 4 league wins in a row for the informed Hammers, who are now 3 points clear of third place Millwall, a healthy position for Billy Bond's boys at the end of January. The home match with Barnsley provided a dream start for rookie striker Steve Jones. Jones, a £20,000 buy from non-league Billericay, was just 10 minutes into his first full match for the Hammers when he celebrated with a debut goal. That should have paved the way for the Hammers' 5th successive league win, but Barnsley hitman Andy Rammell again had the final say. 2 weeks after dumping the Hammers out of the FA Cup with a hat-trick at Oakwell, this time Rammell settled for a single goal and made the final score 1-1.
How about your own individual position at West Ham? Because obviously things have changed. I mean, you didn't think necessarily that you were going to get the chance to come in, but you have now. Colin is out and Alvin is out. How is your own personal position going from now, do you think?
You know, the old cliche, you take it every game as it comes, but the two boys are, you know, look like they got an injury for another couple of weeks now. So as I say, it's a chance for me to come in and do well. We haven't lost while I've been in. That's not just because of me. Obviously, the team are doing well, and it's made it easy for me to come back into the side and playing in a winning side. Today's game was a little bit disappointing, the draw at home. Probably if you look and reflect on the games, Leicester away, Barnsley at home, you would have expected the results to go the other way, drawing at Leicester and winning at home, but that's not the way football works. It's always got the habit of kicking you, you know, when you think you're up. But my own position is just that I'm in the side at the moment, giving it my all and trying my best for the club.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I've noticed certainly in the home games recently that you've been joining the attack a little bit more since you've been the captain, whereas before you'd sort of stay in the centre circle and not come up. Is that a change to your game that you've thought about?
I haven't really thought about it, it's just sort of happened. I'm not so sure since I've been captain. I think, you know, earlier on in the year got forward a bit. Maybe could have got a couple of goals, but it weren't to be. So we'll see as the season goes on.
Just a final question. Some people have said that you're like the goody in the bad pack at the back. You've got Tim Breaker and Julian Dix continually getting into trouble, but then in the middle of it all, you've got Steve Potts, who no blemishes, no problems there. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not too sure Tim's what you consider a bad guy, but it's just the way I am, really. You know, just haven't got booked that much. Julian's totally opposite. He's that sort of character, but that's the way he goes into the game. It's just the way it is.
3 days later, the Hammers were back at Upton Park for a home match against Peterborough. An impressive start began with Peter Butler landing his first ever league goal.
This 1-2 with Morley. Dix turns beautifully. In comes Keane. Hit the post. Robson to pull it back. Butler. It's there. Peter Butler scores for West Ham. Puts her ahead on 4 minutes. There's a touch from Jones, a touch too much, you might say. Morley did well. Robson did well too. Nearly got to push the ball into Breaker's path. He's taking it on himself. It was a bit heavy from Morley. Butler. Allen and Butler. Dix. Up goes Morley. Heads to Jones. Lovely shot and a great goal. Steve Jones, it's 2-in-2. And you have to say more West Ham brilliance. Come on, Borough. Spearing's throw. That was a great shot. What a magnificent goal, Marcus Ebden. He hit it first time, and what a goal. McCluskey had absolutely no chance. It was a good header from Butler, and Jones is chasing Howarth, and he's through, and he's pulled down, and it's a penalty. Well run, Steve Jones, who waves to the north bank. So it's Julian Dix on 51 minutes. Oh, and a save from Bennett. And Morley's had a save too. Well, you don't see Dix miss many penalties, although to be fair, great save from Bennett.
To what extent was Harry Redknapp involved in the transfer when you came here? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, very much so. Obviously, I was with him at Bournemouth for 7 years now, so that's a long time, and he's seen me come up from this high. So obviously he knows me game and that, and it's a great boost. He's come here and he's brought me along. And to be fair, the club's absolutely different class compared to little Bournemouth, to be honest. So I'm just enjoying every minute of it.
Your first goal for West Ham, did you feel a long time coming? Has it been frustrating for you?
Yeah, I've had one or two chances, like I hit post at Bristol Rovers and like Clive knocked it in, but I'm not a recognised goal scorer in all honest truth, but I like to think I contribute in other ways, but it were really pleasing. I'm chuffed a bit, to get off mark. A lot of lads have been giving me a bit of stick, but no, I'm really happy.
It was a great battling performance from West Ham and yourself today, but you've had quite a frustrating season, what with that injury in the middle of it. Did that knock you back a little bit, confidence-wise?
No, I mean, confidence-wise, I've never really, things like that don't really bother me. I've had like injuries in the past where you've just got to bounce back, and I mean, I've got back inside straight after my injury, out 5 or 6 weeks, and I think, maybe it took me a few games to get back to my normal self, but I've just kept plugging away and keep working hard, and as long as I keep doing a job for West Ham and everybody appreciates it, that's all that matters.
The Hammers arrived at Vicarage Road with an unbeaten league run stretching 10 matches and including 6 wins. The sequence looked set to continue when Mark Robson opened the scoring midway through the first half. Failure to make the pressure count allowed the home side to draw level early in the second half when Ken Charlery rounded off a probing Watford move. But West Ham finally made amends when they landed the winner in the 68th minute. Kevin Keane applied the finish, and with leaders Newcastle involved in the FA Cup, the Hammers have succeeded in cutting the Geordies' lead at the top to 4 points. The stage was all set for a crucial showdown with the men from St James's Park in front of live television cameras and the highest gate of the season, an Upton Park crowd of more than 24,000.
Dix playing it in again. Morley pushing that little head up. Morley might get it back again, but Venison in the end turning it back to Cernacek, but again the flag is up. Oh, they didn't. Well, Venison didn't realise the ball was being played to him. Keane now knocking the ball in. Martin Allen came off the goalkeeper's legs. Still not away yet. Dix playing it in once more. Robson on the far side with a header. Morley trying to make something of it, and in the end it's into the goalkeeper's hands. But what a mess up that was by Newcastle United. It's a forbidding sight. Julian Dix coming forward with that sort of pace. Got Martin Allen up there with him now. Dix again going in there with a block challenge. The ball falling for Kevin Keane, and now for Martin Allen. Oh, lovely, tipped away there beautifully by Cernacek. A real tantalising curling shot there from Martin Allen. That would have just crept in under the crossbar.
Special tribute to Bobby.
3 days later, on the 24th of February, Upton Park became the focal point for the news that would leave the world of soccer mourning one of its finest ever ambassadors. Bobby Moore, the greatest hammer of all time, had lost his 2-year battle against cancer. The news of Bobby's death at the age of 51 was greeted by overwhelming sadness in every corner of the world.
As far as his captaincy went, I mean, Bob more than led by ideals, led by example. I mean, he was a great footballer. We all know that. Whatever anybody says about football, his football is true. There's only 2 defenders that reign superior in this world since the game began, and that's Bobby Moore and Franz Beckenbauer. Now, you can argue whatever way you want as to who was the greatest. I suppose if you're German, they'll say Beckenbauer. If you're English, we'll say Bobby Moore. But they're head and shoulders above anybody else that ever played the game defensively.
Of course, I feel very sad, feel sorry sometimes, because it's very hard when you lost a good friend, you lost a nice person like Bobby Moore. And then in my position is, I think, worse than anyone, because besides to play with him, to play against him, we were a very good friend outside of the field. Then I feel very sorry, but what I can do.
He has a reputation not only in England, he also around the world, and also in Germany. He was an expression for a gentleman. He was always very charming, very nice, very helpful. He was a great player. He played more than 100 times for the English national team. So he was an idol.
Everyone knew the memory of Bobby Moore would live on forever in the hearts and minds of soccer fans around the globe. Meanwhile, for the modern-day Hammers came the task of carrying on with a league match at Sunderland. On a day of national mourning, the contest in front of a tearful crowd of just over 19,000 at Roker Park was predictably overshadowed by emotions. The result was countless tributes, but no goals. The day of mourning had ended with honours even. Meanwhile, Upton Park was being turned into a shrine. Scarves, souvenirs and countless mementos that clearly came from prized personal collections formed a poignant epitaph for West Ham's favourite son. The grief was shared by young and old alike, and they turned up in their thousands to pay their last respects.
I remember him playing in the 1974 Cup final, and the World Cup final obviously was the highlight of everybody's thoughts about football, and Bobby Moore, he epitomised everything about football. No one can ever say a bad word against him. I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit choked now.
Classic player, dignity, proper player. In fact,
your own personal memory of him?
My little lad's playing for Manchester Boys today. That's why he's not here. And he plays number 6. What can you say? Gutted.
What do you think about the fans' tribute here?
What can you say about EastEnders? You know, it's all been said. Brilliant. That's why we come down here every week.
Yeah, how far do you travel from?
Manchester.
All the way every week?
Yeah, every week. Home and away.
And you travelled. Have you got a particular favourite memory of Bobby Moore?
Bobby Moore, yeah, the way he used to get the ball off people, stand back, wait for him to come at him, and then just take it away. You know, and people said he didn't have pace. They've all said it, haven't they? He didn't have pace, he didn't need it, he had class.
Can't really put it into words, really. Bobby Moore was West Ham. A part of West Ham has died, not just Bobby Moore.
It was 10 days after Bobby Moore had died before the Hammers staged their first match at Upton Park against Wolverhampton Wanderers. The ceremony that preceded the game began when old teammates Jeff Hurst and Martin Peters carried out a king-size wreath in front of a full house of nearly 25,000 people. In his lifetime, Bobby Moore had been a personality who demanded the ultimate respect. This was a chance for supporters, players and former colleagues to say farewell in a moving final tribute. It was an emotional day when the club's biggest names were united with their fans, watched by Bobby's widow, Stephanie. The tribute's over and the minute's silence completed in perfect dignity. It was time for the Hammers to get down to business.
Done well to get round Brown, and he's got round Keane too. It's a chance for Rankin to turn. It's a good looking cross. Ball is there. And a fabulous goal for Wolves. This time West Ham have gone behind for quite a while at Upton Park. Here's Robson. Up goes Morley. It's there. West Ham are back in it straight away. Trevor Morley with goal number 19, and it's Mark Robson's brilliant cross. And how about that for 2 goals in a minute? Robson. They're breaking in numbers now. Bishop screaming for it. This one's through for Keane. He's taken it past his man. Is it going to be a penalty? Yes, it is. It is a penalty. A brilliant
Brilliant run from Kevin Keane. Superb play from the West Ham number 11. 65 minutes. Julian Dix. It's there. It's 2. Morley does well. Look at the control of that. Finds Bishop. This is lovely play from West Ham. Bishop will look for Small, but it might even come to Morley. On the far post, could it be? It's there! A fantastic finish. And it's the West Ham substitute who gets on the score sheet. Matty Holmes. A lovely goal.
The Hammers had done Bobby Moore's memory proud in overcoming their emotions to register a win that maintained a strong position in the race to win promotion.
I think normally we'd have probably 16,000 for that game today, and 25,000 people nearly have turned up, and that 10,000 of them have come to pay their respects to Bobby. So it just shows you the esteem the man's held him round here.
With 2 months of the season remaining, Upton Park's challenge was looking as strong as ever. Still 7 points behind the leaders, but well placed to claim the second automatic promotion spot. A healthy gap was now developing between the Hammers and Leicester City in 7th position. For inspirational fullback Julian Dix, this had been a season of brilliant highs and demoralising lows. No one doubted his quality, but his erratic disciplinary record hadn't helped him win any recognition on the international stage. The match against Grimsby Town was to prove one of Dick's spectacular personal triumphs.
This is Keane, the man who started it all, taking the corner. He's hit it far post. It's a great one, and it's a fantastic goal. And well, are you surprised? It's that man Dix. Keane again. It's another one, and a brilliant header off the line. Here comes Dix again, off the line, and again it's out! Julian Dix wasn't going to miss it, and he's got 2. And what do you know? We're only just 11 minutes into the game, and Julian Dix has, well, he wasn't going to miss that, was he? He was denied there with we had the clearance off the line. The ball came out to him again. Again it was clumped out, but with the aid of the post, in he went for goal number 2. 11 minutes gone, and it's Julian Dix 2, Grimsby Town 0. Nice touch from Rees. Forward. Rees gets it back. It's good control. That's a great goal. What a marvellous goal from Paul Groves. You won't see many goals as good as that.
The Hammers had strung together an impressive 15-match unbeaten run, a sequence that was heading for a surprising end against Notts County at Meadow Lane. Kevin Wilson served up the winner for the home side when he set up debut boy Richard Walker in the 70th minute. That proved to be the only goal of a game to forget for the Hammers. Another booking for Julian Dix meant a 4th suspension of the season was to follow. Meanwhile, Dix had an important role to play against promotion rivals Tranmere, a match in which on loan David Speedy made his debut.
It's one for Morley to chase. Can he hold up his man? Is that a penalty? It is! And I don't think there was any doubt whatsoever. Steve Vickers, he held Morley down. There's no doubt about it at all. He's done it. No doubt at all. Julian Dix. And it's his 3rd goal in 3 home games. Johnny Brown, it's a lovely header looking for Morley, but Mungle gets it back. What can Nixon do? He's taking him down. It's another penalty. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. And it's Morley again. In it goes. Number 2, Julian Dix. Woo!
With 10 matches left to play, the Hammers' promotion destiny was very much in their own hands. But the chance to close the gap on leaders Newcastle was squandered against Oxford United at the Manor Ground. While the Geordies were losing at Watford, West Ham's chance to move within 2 points of top spot fell apart in a dismal display. Andy Melville scored the only goal on a miserable evening that ended in frustration for the Hammers. The pressure was on to get a result in front of the TV cameras in the Sunday showdown against neighbours Millwall. But it was the Lions who got off to a roaring start with a lightning strike.
Here's Murray, good break for Millwall, a great chance for Millwall! Jamie Murray in the opening minute of the game.
Bit of bumping and boring there between Cooper and Morley.
Flick on towards Morley now for Speedy. He tries it overhead. Keane, a goal, and it's 1-1. Kevin Keane. In the first 13 minutes of the game. And here's Keane once more trying to get Morley in. It's another one. 2 in a minute for West Ham. What an amazing game this is. Trevor Morley hits number 20 of the season. And West Ham, from being a goal down in the space of 60 seconds, are a goal up. Speed is good work, taken on by Keane into the path of Morley. Look at the space for him. And under Keller's body, 2-1 to West Ham. On there towards Morley. And knocked over and in. Millwall have got an equaliser. And Keith Stevens is the man who will claim it. Oh, this could be a problem. Morley! And somehow off the line by Ian Dawes. Here's Speedy. Hits it straight. Oh, he had a glorious chance there. Not only the first time, but the second time as well. And Keller denied him. Well, Speedy, you would have expected to have snapped that up, if not the first one, certainly the second one, David.
Yeah, he's gone through clear. Here he looks as though now he must score. Having got the rebound, here he goes again.
Now Speedy, can he do it this time? No, he's hit it wide and he falls to the ground. Well, he could have made himself, look at the agony on his face, he could have made himself an instant hero with the West Ham fans.
The Hammers' failure to finish off the Lions meant they'd missed another chance to take advantage of the latest slip by Newcastle. The Geordies had been held at home by Birmingham, but a point had been enough to put West Ham back in second place in the final standings at the end of March. The month of April kicked off against struggling Birmingham at St Andrews, and when the home side opened with a 12th minute strike from Andy Saville, it looked like the Hammers were heading for their third away defeat in a row. That was how it remained until the final 3 minutes, when the Hammers came alive with a late smash and grab affair. First, Kenny Brown caught out Brummie keeper Bob Catlin with a real long range effort. Then in the dying seconds came the final sting, when a cross from Kevin Keane fell to Ian Bishop, and the Hammers' number 6 buried the winner from close range. With Portsmouth held at Millwall, Bishop's last gasp winner meant the Hammers had re-established a 3-point lead over their South Coast promotion rivals. But that advantage disappeared when the Hammers came unstuck at Southend. Brett Angel scored the only goal at Roots Hall to give the home side 3 precious points in their battle to avoid relegation. By the time Leicester City arrived at Upton Park, informed Portsmouth has stepped up the pressure by moving into second place with a Saturday win at Bristol Rovers.
Oh, Coatsworth unaware that Keane was there. Robson, chance for West Ham here. For Speedy, it must be! And he scored for West Ham! There'll be a broad smile on David Speedy's face because he's missed 1 or 2 chances since he came here.
Walsh offside, referee acknowledging it. Good piece of refereeing.
Can Speedy get there first? He can! It's another one for David Speedy! Robson for West Ham. Speedy, very alert up ahead of him. Keane is in there as well. It's another goal. Kevin Keane.
With the race for automatic promotion now neck and neck, goals scored and not the old system of goal difference was becoming a crucial factor. The Hammers arrived at Kenilworth Road needing a 4-goal victory to move back in front of second place Portsmouth, but that never looked likely. Midweek dates away from home were proving nervous occasion for Billy Bond's boys, and the worrying night turned sour when Julian Dix conceded an 84th minute penalty. Phil Gray put the Hatters ahead, and moments later the Hammers' misery was compounded by a second Luton goal, Williams completing the demolition job. The Hammers were now in serious danger of missing out on automatic promotion. With 4 matches to play, the upper hand was now very much with Portsmouth. Not only were Pompey 3 points clear, they'd also scored 4 goals more. There was no margin for error in the home match with Brentford.
Keane did well. Morley finds Keane again. Dix has space. Good looking cross, up goes the Butler. Peter Butler, his second goal of the season, a beautiful header. Minutes gone. It's West Ham United 1, Brentford 0, and look at him, he's delighted. What can Speedy do here? A lovely touch inside to Keane. It's always there! It's a brilliant goal from Kevin Keane. I have to say, Payton looked like he went down a bit late for that, but what a strike from the West Ham number 11. And having scored against Leicester last week, he does it again. What a lovely touch from Speedy, though. Keane trampled it down and, in fact, gets the throw. Kevin Keane did brilliantly there. Returns the favour to Speedy, who does it to Morley. Brings Dixon to the action. Julian Dix, he's looking long for Keane. Keane heads across, Speedy. Morley! It's there! Brilliant goal! Trevor Morley's 21st of the season. Kevin Keane. Oh, a beautiful header. It's there. Martin Allen. Just what West Ham needed. He turned it in on the goal line after it had been headed down. And in fact the header, which I think was by Julian Dix, looked like it was on its way. And then a neat flick in on the line virtually by Martin Allen. And it's West Ham 4, Brentford 0. And in fact, that is the final whistle. And that's Martin Allen's, just about got time to tell you that that's his 4th goal of the season.
So we can't do no more than keep winning now. It's you know, Portsmouth's been on the most incredible run. Our form hasn't been that bad. I mean, all right, we've slipped up away from home a few times, but it's not been disastrous, our form, but it's just that their form's been so good. They just keep winning. But we've got to keep winning ourselves. We've got to make sure we win the last 3 games. If we do that, I still get a feeling that Portsmouth are not going to win all their 3 games. I think they've got to go to Sunderland, which would be a very tough game. All right, we've got a tough game at Swindon the same day. But I still think it could go right to the wire, and goals may be important, and we've got 4 very important goals again today.
The season was shaping up for a nail-biting finish, and the Hammers' nerves were given a severe examination by a Bristol Rovers side heading for relegation. Billy Clark gave Rock Bottom Rovers a stunning lead. It began to look ominous for the Hammers when David Speedy spurned a glorious chance that left the Upton Park faithful fearing the worst.
Oh, it's a chance for Speedy! A terrible mistake! And Speedy's touch deserted him. A disastrous mistake let in Speedy, and really an equally disastrous mistake from Speedy.
But Speedy the villain was destined to become Speedy the hero, and it was his cross that finally turned the tables. Handball by Steve Yates, and the Hammers have been given a lifeline. All eyes now are on dead-eyed Julian Dix, who had the task of claiming the equaliser.
Against Gavin Kelly. He's put it in. West Ham 1, Bristol Rovers 1. And what a relief
2 minutes later came the precious winner, and it was all down to the bravery of David Speedie.
Keane, what can he do? He can find Speedie. Molly! Oh, hit the crossbar! Speedie! Yes, it's out! David Speedie. I have to say though, he got a serious kicking for that. But what a fine header, what a brave header.
Victory over Rovers had kept the Hammers' promotion hopes alive. Meanwhile, rivals Portsmouth had cashed in on Newcastle's blank day by knocking them off the top of the table for the first time since the start of the season. The Geordies would bounce back to the summit just 24 hours later, but the Hammers were to receive a massive helping hand on the penultimate Saturday of the season when Portsmouth crashed 4-1 at Sunderland. With 2 matches remaining, the Hammers now knew their destiny was back in their own hands. A 2-goal win at Swindon was required to put them back in automatic promotion spot.
He's onside. There's a great chance for West Ham here, and he scores! 1-0 to West Ham. He took the goal very well, didn't he? He took the goal very well. They tried to play him offside and he wasn't. Good finishing here. A lot of power in that running. Very positive indeed, and high beyond the reach of Fraser Digby into the back of the net. 1-0. Super goal, and for Trevor Morley, his 22nd of the season. Hazard knocking it down for Hobble. Played in again towards Mitchell, but Gale stood his ground well there for West Ham. And Butler finds Dix. Julian Dix, someone's going to have to stop him. If he gets it on that left foot, it's Clive Allen. If he gets it on the left foot, Clive Allen! It's 2-0! What an amazing comeback after a fantastic run by Julian Dix. And Clive Allen, more than 3 months out of the game, and 1 reserve team game only, but those old predatory instincts are there, as good as ever. A terrific finish, and 2-0 for West Ham. It's with Hobble. Can he open the door? He's found Hazard. A little touch by him. Comes back again. Is he going to cross the line? It is. Well, Marwood made the shot, but Speedie, or rather Hazard, was the one who finished it off. Haskell holding off Brown, finding Hoddle. Dix going across there. I think that's clear. The first ball Godl's give away, I think. What a delicate little ball from Dix as well, over the head of the of Summerby for Speedie. And look at Dix again now, with Allen waiting in the middle, and a goal. Kenny Brown comes on, and virtually with his first touch. Well, would you believe it? Dix was the architect of this one, and what a cross it was. And where was the Swindon marking? Well, what they're going to say, they were all over the shot, the defence. Dix made a super run, and in I don't know who passed it into him, but it was a ball across, and they were all over the shop, Swindon, all over the shop.
The Hammers had completed a dramatic return to the top 2 with perfect timing. Against all the odds, they were back in the driving seat thanks to 3 straight wins in the tightest of circumstances. Everything now hinged on the final match against Cambridge.
It's been an unbelievable season for me, getting a free transfer from Tottenham, and then today's, if we win, we get promoted into the Premier League. It'd be great. I can't describe in words what it meant to me, but it is a big game, and we've got to get our minds right, because we've got to win, and we've got to get West Ham up where they belong in the Premier League.
I've got a lot to prove. A lot of people give me stick. They wanted to chuck me out the league, they wanted to get me out the club and things like that. I've got a lot of things to prove, and hopefully I can score a couple of goals and get us up there.
Well, it's going to be a difficult game for us because obviously they need the points to avoid relegation, but that might make it an open game, and which will sort us down to the ground. Cheers.
Oh my God, if we lose this one, we've had it. But if we win it, I think if Mad Dog comes on, do a sliding tackle, referee plays advantage, he runs on and blasts one in from 50 yards. And all of a sudden, because they're playing well, it's nice to have that.
I think I'm as nervous as the players, to be honest. It's one of those occasions where you wish you weren't up here in the stand, you're there playing so you can see what's going on, but you can hear from here it's a great atmosphere. It's going to be a capacity 28,000 crowd. We've already shut the gates and the bank, so it's going to be a great day, we hope.
The stage was set for a grandstand finish to the season, but first came the annual pre-match ceremony as Steve Potts stepped up to collect the Hammers Player of the Year award. It wasn't just a case of winning, the Hammers had to be sure they weren't outscored by Portsmouth. Pompey were level on points before their match with Grimsby, but so far they'd scored 1 goal fewer. The tension was there for all to see.
The thought that Billy Bonds might have had a word or two to say at half-time, and Keane pushing forward to get Robson forward with a fine pass here. Robson against Heathcote, lovely play. Robson's cross and put away by Alan Kimbrell for an early corner. That's more like it from West Ham. They've had good news that it's going to be an uphill struggle for Portsmouth at Fratton Park. They've probably had a bit of a volley from their manager and they're coming forward. Good defensive play though. Keats kick. Dix gets in there well, and there's a chance here as Speedy hacks it in. Speedy puts West Ham in front. Less than 2 minutes into the second half. There was a ball that Cambridge couldn't get clear. Dix won it bravely. Chappell couldn't get there, and Speedy lashes onto a loose ball off Robson and bangs it past Fylan. Now Cambridge are really under the cosh. Not only have they got to keep them out, but they've got to score at the other end to give themselves a chance to stay in this division. In goes Dix, good header, quite clean enough, and a good drive. Bishop's powerful effort, well blocked by the Australian Fylan, and then scrambled away. He did well because I don't think he really saw it all that cleanly. What a hit from Ian Bishop though. The loose ball and the goalkeeper unsighted. Time for Morley. Here's Bishop. Martin Allen forward goes Dix. Dix has still got it. There's a chance here, and it's 2-0. Clive Allen, and they are definitely in the Premier League now.
For a long time. These boys have been waiting for it for a long time. At one stage it was all Portsmouth. All credit to the lads. The last 6 weeks they've battled away, got themselves, we got promotion, fantastic.
Nerve-wracking day though for everybody, yourself included.
Oh, very much so. You're hearing bogus results coming through. Portsmouth may be losing, maybe winning, but we've done the job. We've won. Great result.
Bye.